Mog and the Bunny by Judith Kerr. One day, Mog got a present. "Here you are, Mog," said Nicky. "It's for you. It's called Bunny." Mog liked Bunny. She carried him about. She played with him and played with him and played and played and played with him. He was her best thing. When Mog came to have supper, Bunny came too. Sometimes Mog thought Bunny would take a drink. Nope. Sometimes Mog thought Bunny would like a drink. But Bunny wasn't very good at drinking. "Oh dear," said Debbie. "Look where Bunny's got to." And she put him on the radiator to dry. At night, Bunny slept with Mog in her basket. During the day, when Mog was busy, she always put Bunny somewhere nice. You never know where Bunny would get to. Sometimes Bunny liked to be quiet and cozy, and sometimes he liked to be where there was a lot going on. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas didn't understand this. They didn't say, "Look where Bunny's got to." They shouted, "Yuck!" They yelled, "Ah! What a horrible, dirty thing!" And they threatened to throw Bunny away in the dustbin. One day Mr. Thomas said, "Let's have supper in the garden." Everyone helped to carry things out of the house. It was a lovely supper, but suddenly there was a crash of thunder and it poured with rain. "Quick, inside!" shouted Mrs. Thomas. "It's bedtime anyway." "Where's Mog?" said Debbie. "I expect she's keeping dry under a bush," said Mrs. Thomas. "She'll come in later." In the middle of the night, Debbie and Nicky woke up. Mog hadn't come in, and it was still pouring with rain. "Let's go and find her," said Debbie. It was very dark in the garden. They shouted, "Mog! Where are you, Mog?" But nothing happened. Then they heard a meow. "There she is," shouted Nicky. "Come on, Mog, come inside." But Mog just went on sitting in the rain. It was dripping off her nose. "What's the matter, Mog?" said Debbie. Then she said, "Oh dear, look where Bunny's got to." Nicky picked Bunny up and showed him to Mog. "It's all right, Mog," he said. "We've set Bunny free. You can come inside now." Then they carried Bunny through the dark garden and through the house, and they put him on a radiator to dry. Then they all had a big sleep. In the morning, they told Mrs. Thomas what had happened, and how Mog had stayed with Bunny in the dark and the rain. Debbie said, "You won't really throw Bunny away in the dustbin, will you?" Mrs. Thomas said, "No, never. It would make Mog too sad." Then she sighed and said, "Perhaps Bunny is not quite so horrible, now he's been washed by the rain." And they all looked on the radiator. But this is where Bunny had got to. The end. Hi guys, how are you? I hope you liked that book. I know it's one of your favourites in Crash. Maybe you guys will be able to go on a bunny hunt this weekend with little Easter treats or presents around the garden or around the house. But don't be putting them in places that Mog put his bunny, because somebody might sit on him and might break the treats or the presents. I have attached some Easter colouring pages and just Easter activities in the description, a little bunny mask and things to keep you busy over the weekend. And there's a fun game that I heard of. It is an Easter egg hunt that everyone can play, um, even if you're stuck inside your house or your garden. You can colour in an Easter egg, which I'll be sending a few patterns over, and you can colour it in, cut it out as best you can, and stick it in your front window. So whenever families are going for walks around Easter, children can have a look to see which houses have their Easter eggs out. So it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt, except you can't run over and get the picture because it will be inside someone's house. But it's a fun little game to play as you're walking around. And yeah, hopefully you guys have fun. Hope to see you guys soon. We're all missing you loads. Happy Easter. Bye.